Hello and welcome back to Penn State Sports Night. I'm Jack Hirsch with Alyssa Devine and Liana Rizzi, and we're going to talk about the college football playoffs. Selection Sunday, it was just yesterday, and our top 4 teams in the college football are Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and Washington. There were 6 teams that could have made a case for the college football playoff. Alyssa, Liana, what did you guys think of how it all shook out? Penn State and Michigan didn't make it. What do you guys think?
Well, first of all, I don't think Michigan should have made it. I mean, they're also not they were a non-conference champ, just like Ohio State, and Ohio State definitely should have been the non-conference champ to make it over Michigan. But also, I think Penn State could have had a better case. A lot of people are saying they could have made it over Ohio State because of their head-to-head, and also Ohio State didn't win the Big Ten title. Penn State won the Big Ten title over two top 10 teams, Ohio and Michigan. So they could have made a case, but I think Washington should not have made the top 4. I think Penn State should have made it over Washington just because Washington's strength of schedule, it was really weak. They beat the number 8 team. That was their best win. Penn State, they beat number 2 Ohio State and also number 6 Wisconsin. So that's one of the reasons why I thought Penn State should have made it. But the reason why they didn't was because of that Pitt loss and also the loss to Michigan. They lost by a good amount. So that's why the committee didn't put them in.
Absolutely. Obviously, Alabama is the powerhouse of the NCAA football league. There's no doubt about it. So, them being the number 1 seed in the NCAA playoffs is 100% guaranteed. Clemson played a good game against Virginia Tech. We can't take it away from them. Virginia Tech did try to come back in the second half, and, they gave them a run for their money, but Clemson came up strong. And, I think as much as we would have loved to have seen Penn State in the NCAA playoffs, Washington is a strong team, but like Alyssa said, their schedule was a little bit weaker than ours. It's tough to say. The committee just didn't pull in our favor this year.
The thing was, Penn State, they won 9 straight. They had an unbelievable comeback season. That's just the Penn State story in general, I think, should have been enough. But, I mean, they're all about the money, and I don't know, it could be a reason why they weren't too high on Penn State.
Look, there are a lot of reasons to take Penn State. For example, we have the world's largest alumni association, so we would have traveled to the game. We would have made a lot of money just as much as other teams would, but the fact of the matter is I don't think we were one of the best 4 teams in the country.
But at this point, though?
Well, here's the thing.
That's what I think.
Here's the thing. Going into the conference championship game, Washington was number 4. And Washington handled a Colorado team, which I don't think should have been number 8.
No,
I don't think Colorado
so
should have been number 8. I don't think they should be number 10.
No.
I'm glad Penn State is playing USC and not Colorado in the Rose Bowl. I think that's the right move by the committee to move USC up to number 9, because they're, just like Penn State, they're one of the hottest teams in the country.
They won 8 straight.
9 straight.
No, Penn State won 9, they won 8 straight.
Yeah.
But Washington was 4, and they won convincingly against Colorado. Was Colorado the same team as Wisconsin? No. But Penn State didn't win convincingly against Wisconsin.
It was the 2 losses that got them. Washington only had 1 loss. Penn State had 2.
Yeah,
and they were big losses. If
Penn State does beat Pitt, I think we're in clearly over Washington.
Absolutely.
And I think Ohio State deserves to be in there too, because look, if you play Penn State and Ohio State on a neutral field.
Do you think Ohio State should be in?
Yes, I think Ohio State should be in because, look, if you put Penn State and Ohio State on a neutral field, that's a lot different. Look, Penn State won that game against Ohio State because it was
pretty lucky.
Because it was in Beaver Stadium.
But also,
I'm not saying it was a fluke. Look, Penn State's a great team. No one's going to deny that. They're certainly one of the top 6 teams in the college football. But
what I want to ask you is, if Ohio State was in the position of Penn State, that what Penn State was in, do you think they would have made it in? I think they might have, just because they're Ohio State, Urban Meyer, a lot of history with that Ohio State team too.
I agree with you, Alyssa. I think Ohio State would have been, if Ohio State was in our shoes, they would have 100% been in the NCAA playoffs.
Also, I think it might be a blessing in disguise. Penn State didn't make it in the playoffs. I mean, we would have had to play Alabama. They're a top team. Obviously, everyone knows they're the powerhouse, like you said, Liana. And last year, Michigan State played them. They got rocked in that game, and then this year they didn't have that great of a season. They're a young team like our team, and it might have been they might not have had a good season because of that game, and you never know. And Penn State, they're going to one of the most prestigious bowls, the Rose Bowl. There's nothing to complain about that. All the players are happy about it, and I know we are, and they're going to have another good season next year.
Look, the fact of the matter is this team started off 2-2, and you know what? I personally thought after the Temple loss, wow, Temple must be awful because they made us look good. And well, it turns
this year
out
we beat Temple though.
Are you talking about? I'm
okay.
saying we made them look awful. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And you know what? It turns out Temple won their conference. Temple had a 10-win season. Who would have thought that Temple would have had 10 wins, and now they're going to a bowl game 2 years in a row.
But then again, their schedule is much weaker than anybody else.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that we made Temple look really bad, and we thought we were really bad at that time. We were 2-2 after the Michigan loss.
I mean, a lot of people were putting Franklin on the hot seat. No one knew.
Who would have thought that a letdown would have been the Rose Bowl after a 2-2 season?
No one expected the Rose Bowl. I mean, a lot has to do with the new offense with Joe Moorhead, and then also Brent Pry, the defensive coordinator. We had a lot of injuries with the linebackers, and these two coaches, they really made a difference. And even Franklin, I had him on the hot seat, but he really proved me wrong. This is a young team he worked with, and what they have done, and with everything this program has been through, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I think Joe Moorhead is certainly unheralded for his job with not only Saquon Barkley, but Trace McSorley and these receivers. I mean, Deshaun Hamilton, Saeed Blacknell had amazing games. Amazing games.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. If somebody told me at the beginning of the season we would have been Big Ten champions, I would have dropped them 100%, but pulled through.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're all going to be looking forward to this Rose Bowl berth coming up on January 2nd. That's all for us tonight on Penn State Sports Night. Be sure to catch us again, and good luck to Penn State in the Rose Bowl on January 2nd against USC.